from the Honorable Minister's office. So we have tried to stay, and I keep saying the point, stay within the regulations as expounded by the relevant regulatory authority. And the last that we had, again, my brother over there can correct me if I'm wrong, is that we had a 90-day space within which to go and come. And the clearance we had was for Port Harcourt, not Accra, Port Harcourt, Accra.
So, well, 2nd of April, it has already expired, isn't it? Did you reapply for an extra day or days? Because that makes it illegal, according to Mr. Dati, if you have stayed beyond April 2nd with this particular aircraft that came in all the way from Accra under the Bank of Utah trusteeship. How come you haven't, gone back to the regulatory body for an extension of stay in the country?
Like I said to my what we do have is a Port Harcourt clearance. And I believe, again, that we have this within a 90-day period. We would not defy the regulatory authorities. We have no reason to do that. Because remember that we're very much part of government. So there is no reason for us to defy regulatory authorities or to walk in the breach. That is not our style, and we do not do that.
Could you kindly state very clearly which authorities you've submitted the application for registration to?
The authorities to whom you must submit registration would be the Office of the Honorable Minister of Aviation.
Okay, that's the only office where you file any papers?
You will file papers to everyone else, but to get the import license clearance, only the Office of the Honorable Minister of Aviation releases that. But of course, all the other regulatory agencies have gone over documentation. Because, you have to file all of these with all the relevant agencies, NAMA, NCAA, the Ministry of Aviation. So everyone has all of that documentation.
All right, Mr. Dati, let's bring you in here. Does it mean, what's the current position now?
The current position is we have an alien body in the country. We saw an alien body moving around Port Harcourt, Akure, Owerri, and it's not supposed to be so. And so the response, we didn't even know who was in the aircraft to start with. So that's when people start saying, governor of this, I am even amazed because it's not even registered in River State.
No, but
so we don't even know.
Is the aircraft supposed
the aircraft we are
with?
concerned
What is the process for registration, Mr. Dati?
The process for registration is that the aircraft has to go through what we call Flight Operations Clearance Certificate before it's allowed to come in. And that there is a pre-inspection process that takes place, and then on arrival there is a post-inspection process, and then we look at the aircraft and they fill all the irregularities, and we look at it. We give them a temporary license for 6 months, and after which they will be issued with MCC, that's the Maintenance Certificate Clearance Certificate.
So you're saying that the Office of the Minister of Aviation has no role to play here? Have they also breached due process in trying to register the aircraft?
I don't see the connect between the Office of the Minister and our regulatory functions. I'm sure we are trying to grow institutions here, and we should also operate within the confines of the law. We are simply trying to do our jobs. Nigerians have given us a job to do. If your visa expires, the immigration officer will do his work.
But the commissioner just said, well, they are part and parcel of government, so they cannot deliberately flout any rule.
Well, I don't doubt if the commissioner went to the office of the minister to apply, but we are talking about this particular aircraft, Bombardier BD700 Global Express, which applied to us to come and operate between 27th and 2nd of April. So and that is the aircraft we're dealing with. Any other issue is not within our confines.
The 6 months temporary license which you talked about, has it expired?
What we are talking about this aircraft is that they've not even applied. You have the right anywhere to apply to fly in with your private jet and fly out. And this is what this plane applied for. to come into Nigeria on the 27th of March and fly out on 2nd of April, which was granted. Simple and short. Any other addition,
what you're also claiming is that you're not aware that you're not aware of what the Bank of Utah does. I mean, because she said that they provide corporate trust for aircraft purchases. It's asked us to Google. We've done that. We can see it here, and it says the Bank of Utah provides corporate trust for aircraft purchases. Are you also saying you don't know anything about that?
No, what we are saying is that we are regulatory function.
You're not denying knowledge of that. That's the question, a pointed question I'm asking, of what the Bank of Utah specializes in.
If Leventis Motors, you go to hire a car from Leventis Motors, and Leventis Motors has problem, the road safety will go to Leventis Motors and say, look, it has expired. What is this car doing here?
Okay, so we are
not the occupant.
You understand that? Are you also aware that?
So if you try to bring in the
are you also aware that sometime last year, when the River State government was said to have purchased this aircraft, this new $50 million aircraft, there was severe criticism, trailing all of that. So it has been in the news for some time.
Well, I like to stick by what I said initially, that the aircraft we're dealing with is owned by Bank of Utah trustee. They applied with their documentation to come in for a few days in Nigeria. They applied, they gave us the dates. We didn't give them the dates.
The aircraft finally took off from the Accra airport after some delays. If we say there's nothing in the pipelines with recertification for this particular aircraft, are you saying, as you sit here, that this aircraft can't fly again until they come and do the registration with you?
You see, I think there are two issues here. It's not about coming to do registration. We are not dealing with the River State government. We are dealing with the Bank of Utah, who came to apply.
So we're talking about Bank of Utah.
So I don't even know where.
No, I haven't said anything about Rivers now. Are you saying the aircraft in question can't fly in our airspace?
It cannot fly because the validity has expired. And by our rules, if you want to operate based on our rules, it is not supposed to fly. It's acting is against whatever we stand for.
All right, so that means, Ibim, at the moment, the plane can't fly until all papers are corrected. That's the position of FAAN. It means they say they have to complete the registration process before it's allowed to fly again.
Well, like I said, Suleiman, because channels has called, we've had to respond. Otherwise, we still, as we speak, do not even have any formal communication from any of the regulatory agencies except what we saw in the news, on TV and on the pages of the newspaper. Regardless of that, once they do that, we will send to them again the copies and refer to all of our various letters and correspondences with them. Because, like I said, this aircraft has been interfacing with local and national regulatory authorities with respect to approval for flight plans, and we cannot be irresponsible and overstay any approvals that we have received. So again, once we receive formal communication from the relevant authorities, we will respond, and maybe there is a gap somewhere. Maybe someone didn't see the papers. We will send back to them the papers that we have received, and we will continue to interface with them. Let me make it very clear that for us as the government of River State, we appreciate the work regulatory agencies do in this country. We would not defy them, but we would make their job easier. So if maybe someone has omitted or someone didn't see something, we're happy to send back our papers again and again and again, because we believe that our regulatory agencies are working to keep us safe, and we will collaborate with them to keep us safe.
All right, thank you for speaking with us this morning, Ibim Semenitari, Commissioner for Information, River State. So does that mean that all the other aircrafts flying in the country are properly registered at the moment?
They are properly registered, and we believe that all that are not registered, we usually grant, and they have periods. And I think we are probably mixing the issues. The plane we're talking about belongs to Bank of Utah trustee. So when you talk about registration or finalizing registration of this particular aircraft, I'm at a loss, because the ownership is clear. Even the Honorable Minister has not denied the ownership of this aircraft. So these things are pretty clear. And I think we need to stick by it. And it's very sad that when we try to do our work as a regulatory body, people try to blow it out of proportion. They want to bring in politics out into it. And it's